What is going on YouTube? Guys, it's been I think like 2 months since I did a video. As you guys know from my previous video, I was letting you guys know that I'm actually moving. So I did end up getting a new car. So obviously still have the Z. I sold the Supra. I kept the LS, so we're still doing an LS swap Supra, just not the one that I had. I bought that thing right there. Yep, pretty solid. I like it a lot. Anyways, so back on track. So now that the Z is boosted and there's like a couple of things that I need to do under the hood, we are going to do a cosmetic overhaul, and I'm going to show you guys exactly why. I don't know what it is about the Z's, but these trim pieces, they just seem to like suck. That is fucking nasty. I mean, like, you see this one's kind of starting to get it. But this is fucking horrible. It's on both sides. So we're gonna go ahead and get that replaced. And then you come up here. I did paint my lights, the insides, but the covers themselves are really rough. As you can see, there's some cracking in there. This one over here is actually a lot worse. If you see up there, that's just gross. So we're gonna do some Morimotos, the new style that I wouldn't say most people run, but a fair amount of people run. They're quite expensive. As well as this bumper up here has just kind of seen its fair share of hell. I mean, damn, like even my freaking Z emblem that I've had for only like 2 years now is you can tell it's starting to kind of lose its shine. And I did cut this for the intercooler. Really kind of nasty JDM move on my part, but we always planned on replacing this bumper anyways, so it's not a huge deal. And I'm really not a fan of the DRLs. Like, I just don't freaking like them, man. I don't know why people do, but if you do, that's fucking cool. They're not my style. Under the hood, like I was talking about, the last two things I have to do is a coolant and oil catch combo, and then E85. Yeah, that's it. E85. And we might actually do a upgraded twin fuel pump eventually, just to make sure that, you know, we're not having any shortages in fuel. Because I ease into it whenever I am getting on it. I'm not fucking full sending either. I rarely ever take it to red line just because I like this car. I would really appreciate it if it lasted, you know. So yeah, moving on, we are planning on switching up the wheels. We are going to do some fatties in the back. I'm pretty sure that we're going to do some S71 welds in the back. There's a few boosted Z's that run them, and I just think they look beautiful. They honestly go on pretty much everything. And then on the fronts, I think we're going to do some Advans, or we're going to do, what are those called? Gram lights. Yeah, we're going to do some gram lights. And I only have to buy 2 gram lights, which is cool, but the rears are going to be fairly expensive. But I just would really like to grip stuff. The fuck is this? I don't know what the fuck that is. Okay. So other than that, you're going to come over here to these side markers. As you see here, the side marker works fine. It's just the external, I guess, gray, hyper silver looking paint is just kind of disappearing. So this is probably the most extensive work we're going to do to the car, is actually in the rear. I do plan on getting a carbon fiber hood eventually, but I think the first carbon fiber piece I'm actually going to get is the hatch. And if you guys have ever seen the carbon fiber hatch, it has a completely different rear glass. It's actually smaller. Like, the tunnel out is like super duper small compared to this rear glass. And I know that carbon fiber is mainly either a cosmetic or like a weight saving addition, but I just don't know what it is. I like the look of the carbon hatch. The only thing is you can't really switch spoilers, so like if I did do that, I would be pretty much stuck. I do plan on selling this one. I'm going to change this car a million times before, you know, I'm dead, because I don't ever plan on getting rid of this car. Unfortunately, the Supra was just kind of piss poor timing. I needed something to be able to haul the Z because I'm not willing to drive it, 14 hours to my next unit and risk anything serious happening. So yeah, we're going to replace the hatch, probably do the carbon fiber one. If not, we're going to go ahead and do the different spoiler, a low profile spoiler more than likely. We are going to actually change the rear taillights. They're going to be the new ones that Z1 has. I actually don't know what the fuck they're called, but they're just different colors, different color scheme. I just think they look really good, and they're going to look really good with the Morimotos in the front. And then obviously the bumper. So I cut the bumper a while ago to fit my crazy looking custom exhaust. And then I decided that, maybe I would go back to a factory exhaust because I started to not really like the sound, but again, like I said, I'm going to change this car a million times before I get rid of it. But I don't plan on getting rid of it, so unless something really serious happens, that's the only time I'd actually get rid of it. But I don't foresee that happening. So yeah, I think I did the math the other day, and with paint and me installing pretty much everything, which shouldn't be a fucking issue. Goddamn bugs. It's going to be about $5,000. But the cool thing is, once I replace that stuff, that's really it. Cosmetics for the E85, the fuel pump, and the Soho Stage 1 coolant and oil catch can combo is like $700 by itself. Twin fuel pumps like $1,300 or $1,400. I do have that extra rear diff in the backyard. I was thinking about sending it to Z1 and having them do the work on it, and then just kind of paying on it over time. But I'm not that freaking dedicated to starting to break shit. And what I mean by that is, if I upgrade, because I spin out in third gear, if I upgrade my diff, I upgrade my traction significantly, I've always been told that that's when you start really breaking shit, because of the torque and just the amount of power that you're kind of putting through it. Once it hooks, it fucking hooks, whether your car wants it to or not. So I'm not saying I'm pulling away from that idea, but I'm trying to kind of focus on cosmetics a little bit before we really get into the serious shit, because at the start of, 2020, right before the pandemic, the idea was we were going to take this car to the track and we were actually going to see what it puts down, NA and then boosted. So we got to boost at the very end of 2020, and it's been great so far. I actually just did a supercharger fluid change, and I have zero freaking issues. Like, I kept daily in this car. I think so far I put like almost 3,000 miles on it, because after 2,500 miles, you're supposed to change the fluid for the first time, and then the next time is like 7,500 miles. I have zero freaking problems with this car, man. Like, I fucking love it. Like, I have no problems. And the reason why I keep saying that is primarily because a lot of people will message me on Instagram or YouTube and say, hey, like, how's it still running? I'm still considering turboing, and that's awesome, dude. Like, if you want a turbo, go ahead. I just thought that this is like, I'm not going to say cheapest power, but it was the most cost-effective power that I could get. Like, I didn't have to change the headers, I didn't have to reroute anything. I didn't have to spend an extra $2,000 on the, top mount freaking turbo kit itself. I didn't have to do any of that. I got to keep my long tubes. I got to keep my exhaust. I don't know. I thought it was so much better of an idea. Not to mention it's safer power, right? So I don't have boost spikes, or I don't have to worry about boost spikes. I have to just change the belt every so often, which really isn't a big freaking deal. I don't know. It's just safer power, man. It's linear power. Like, what's not to love? Anyway, I'm fucking ranting now, but I just want you guys to know that, I didn't go anywhere. I'm just getting ready to move. And what's really cool is I should be able to make about $6,000 on this, DIY move, Diddy move, as they call it. And a fair portion of that is actually going to go back into this car, I believe. Probably one for the Soho catch can, and for the other, probably get rid of the spoiler, sell that one, and then change it up in the back, whether that be the carbon fiber hatch or, you know, back to the stock spoiler, or the new Nismo V2 freaking hatch, you know, like whatever I can really find. But I think the first things I should do really is the headlights and the front and rear bumper. So those will probably be like number one priority, and that's going to take the longest just because of paint, and I got to find a reputable place once I get there, and, you know, obviously the money for it. But we'll see, and I'll keep you guys posted. And if you want to follow me on Instagram, you're more than welcome to. I'm not all about the whole like and subscribe, but if you guys want to do that, you know, keep up with how the Z is going. And if you have any boosted questions, I did do this install with a couple of buddies of mine in his garage. So it's very doable, and it's reliable, and it's great power, and you can daily this. I mean, John from Z1 dailies his, so, and that thing's at probably close to like 600. So all right, guys, well, you have a great night.